and welcome everyone. It is your favorite scion of the stars, Nova, at your service. Today I'm joined by Sam the Dungeon Brewer on her side on Twitch. We've got May. Say hi, May. That was wimpy. Say it again. Put some mustard on it this time.
With feeling. There we go.
There you go. We have Rose.
Mustard increase.
That works.
Autistic stimming increased.
Lovely.
We have Scalius here.
Anyhow.
All right.
So, to recap.
Yeah, let's bring you all over to the thing, the map.
The team.
So, over here you got Idris, the break.
It's not necessarily the
I
capital city, but it is
the capital city
a...
of this region.
Okay. Oh, so it is the capital. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I forgot where I need to do a thing. Oop. Why is it not?
Alright.
Do the thing. Thank you.
Okay. Really do the thing.
Apparently a thing needs to be
How could I
doing.
have forgotten?
Sure.
How could I have forgotten something so important as rejoining as a player on the screen that's being streamed? I'm a failure of a streamer and a DM.
No, dude, it's fine. You can show your DM perspective, even if they want a player perspective. Dungeon Brewer on Twitch is where you go.
Well, the thing was, I have some things that I will be keeping secret. This way, on the other screen, I can now drop certain creatures on the GM layer, and then, when those creatures pop out, the audiences can be just as surprised as the players.
Fair point.
They can see the creatures. Yeah.
Fair point. I just figured that was I want to be on the player's perspective, where it's like, no, you're technically the DM. If they want more information, they go to you.
No, I
no DM, we're all players.
Oh God.
Good question.
But anyway,
But I had you actually roll your fucking perceptions so that you guys could see what was on each side of the areas.
And it was insane.
It was what?
And, well, at least for me, it was insane with a natural 20.
Oh, yes. You also noticed that there's a burnt forest. There are rumors that some adventurers have just taken to burning everything that has any sort of undead in there. Their goal being to just, if there's undead in the area,
Effectively
if
just
the area
burn
from
it
undead,
so that way it doesn't be a problem later.
If you nuke the area that is filled with undead, there are no more undead in that area.
Well, you could still
No more
get...
living things in that area either.
Exactly, and therein lies the problem
Not
anyway.
in that area at all. You found off to the north, there's also a big ass plateau that there's a bit of a rumor going about that some people might be. There's a base up there, or maybe some strange artifact up there.
Oh, that should be noted. Just to be clear, because right now it just says plateau.
There are some.
I mean, I don't want to nitpick, but that's kind of good information to know.
Yeah.
I gotta change the fucking text size though. Oh, you bitch. Why would you do that to me?
If you open up the text menu, there should be a font size thing.
Do this, and then I
just...
have to do this thing.
There we go.
And then I have to set you right there.
Hey!
There is a recent chasm from a cataclysm that happened off to your southwest. There's a snowy forest to your northwest. To the south, there's a swamp. There's a place to the southeast. And, of course, it sounds interesting to you. You love swamps for some reason.
Hey,
I don't say that in a mean way.
I've never been raised in the bayou, but my heart belongs to it, okay? It's either the swamp or the mountains. What do you want from me?
That sounds like something a mono black player would say.
Oh, to irony. I'm a mono green. Oh, to irony.
Anyway, considering that's
And
quote unquote the wrong
burnt
wizard
forest,
property.
Yeah. And no, we're not using anything from the Magic the Gathering D&D crossover stuff. Least of all the fucking backgrounds. Those are fucking stupid.
The backgrounds are very setting specific, and we're not playing in that setting, so we don't really have the reason to use them.
They're also just broken.
I was leaving it at that, but okay.
Anyway, in the burnt forest, there's a gargantuan awakened plant. Probably has something to do with the fact that the Fae or Mother Nature or the Earth or whatever is not exactly
Happy with everything being burned around it.
Well, there's like 12-mile radius hex is burnt, at least partially burnt. But back at the what the fuck's happening? Okay, I thought for a second there I thought I was fucking with the I don't. Oh, I can't actually interact with that on that side, can I? I have to do it on this side. But back here, the players,
shopping trip.
There's a bit of a shopping trip going on. Some people, a person has tried soda for the first time and was not expecting the fizzy bubbles.
Yeah. Admittedly, that kind of backfired.
I mean, you could have warned them.
Apparently I didn't. Anyway. And I did pick up a scroll that I do want to put into my spellbook. Just wanted to make sure that it was noted.
Yes. The scroll of bonking gobbos.
No.
No, that's gonna come
Oh,
later.
you're right.
Oh,
You're right. You don't need a scroll to do that.
Regardless.
I have a mech suit. What's your fucking point?
Anyway, back on target here.
Fuck you.
And soon enough, I'll have a fucking satellite.
Again, back on target. We don't need a pissing match.
Well, that does remind me, because yeah, so back at the, because you all had your shopping trip, somebody got, Rose, what did you get from your shopping trip? Remind me.
Dude, it's been a month. I don't even know what I had for breakfast yesterday.
It's not been a month, it's been
No.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say it hasn't been that long. And to give you a recap, because
It was a month between the last session and the one before that. A little bit less.
but if I may, since my memory is somewhat halfway decent, Hibara did not go shopping. She was meditating and or getting high, possibly.
What's the
Miss Sims and Luke.
high on life, man?
Yeah, Miss Sims and Luke managed to get spare parts, possibly ammunition, and Luke also got a dressing down for solving a toy puzzle relatively easily. Which the guy had 20 intelligence. What the hell were you expecting? And meanwhile, on the other side,
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
now Beatrice and Garuk were getting more rations to supplement what Lizzie and Luke were getting. I picked up a spell scroll because I wanted to. Plus, they're kind of expensive. And we actually managed to get some some medicine commissioned for Beatrice's condition.
Yes. You also got a bit of a, not really a dressing down, but like your home's medicine got insulted by the.
It wasn't even an insult. It was just a, really? They're giving this to you?
Yeah,
and Beatrice just did it's what they thought was best. And then, coincidentally, that was also where Garuk tried soda for the first time. Did not like it. Opted for juice instead.
No. Juice.
Which, I don't know if you got my DM, Noah, but do you wanna? Because there is that one item that I still need, and I didn't get it last time because I didn't want to take too much time. I just need a pearl. I need 100. I need a pearl. Of moderate quality. Because of
what might constitute moderate quality?
100 gold worth.
Do you have 100 gold?
Based on the math I did, I've got 566 gold. We're set.
Yeah, fucking easily. This place isn't exactly the most magically inclined kingdom that there is, but like they stock their magic shit out pretty decently for the basic shit. So a pearl is not too hard to find for your special move for that.
Well, it's not necessarily a special move. It's just so that way I can ritually cast a spell.
For a spell.
Yeah.
Also,
Alright.
I have set the gobbo to appropriate size.
Of course you did. For reference viewers, since I have not been zoomed out all the way, the gobbo in question is where exactly? Thank you.
Smaller than her own fucking bird.
Which is true. So I am just going to put my pearl in my trench coat of holding for now.
God damn it! I'm not gonna stop saying that now. It's become a habit, and I'm never gonna stop saying it.
Okay.
You can't stop me, and I can't stop myself.
I wasn't going to.
Just anytime anyone says pearl now, I have to say mother of pearl.
That's fine.
It has been coded into my system.
Still just making a note that it is currently in the trench coat of holding.
Download complete.
So at this point,
Anywho,
Beatrice and Garuk are definitely headed back towards the inn, because I don't think we could get anything for you, Garuk. I don't think.
no, there wasn't anything that was. At least in this area, that's going to be something you're going to have to get yourself. And you're also going to have to DM me and ask and mention to me what it is you're trying to do with it or get out of it. Because I outside of like Monster Hunter style crafting of armor and weapons, I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'll get you what you need for that when I can.
Okay, cool. Thanks, because like I said, I'm really I was kind of confused as to like what your plan is with it.
Yeah, it was
Anyway.
the Monster Hunter armor crafting, and I'll get you that when I can.
Okay, yeah. You're good.
Because I
mean,
need X amount of
dude.
certain parts, and then X amount of certain bones, X amount of
Bro.
plants.
But I can do special armor crafting from like critters and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just gonna have to be something that that you find yourself. Then, if you're trying to make weapons and armor out of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
I figured
just if you run into some displacer beasts, just be sure to get to hide, because displacer cloaks are fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I have
Oh.
on my ranger in my in-person games, so.
Fair point, and also a note. If you need like certain ores, because I've also played Monster Hunter, sometimes you need ore. We could probably
Yes, I'm gonna
source
need
the ore
ores.
here, or at least in some sort of city. So it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need those.
Yeah, but you didn't mention that before. Yeah.
I never got a
Okay.
chance to. That's what the problem was.
Well,
Sorry. Mm.
you damn chatterbox.
Sure that.
Anyway.
Bitch.
So we do move back to the people getting metal stuff at the what was it? I don't think I gave a name to this particular shop. It was just an auto mail shop. Well, okay, it's not just auto mail. It's a variety of tinkering and things, like metal tinkering things, and Luke kind of you see after Luke's kind of rock, then he's
I got my back.
ordered some or he's asked for some parts, and I'm going to roll a figure. I believe he has
Where's a
okay.
glitch?
Look at me.
I hear the Switch menu sounds.
Oh, you're hearing the sounds that I've set for my keyboard.
Well, that's gonna make it any. So he purchases some bottle parts. So there's like, or he purchases some like, there, you see like there's some gyroscopics, some like bits and bobs like metal almost like metal wings or propellers. Um,
No, don't run with that brand. That brand, the gyroscopics are ruined after a couple years worth of use. Gotta replace them every now and again. It gets expensive.
well, fortunately, all I need is
Oh,
force
I-
of model.
oh.
And you see,
Go with
You-
Ironheart.
you
It's better
start-
made anyway.
fair enough. And he starts to put these things together in a shape that you don't recognize at all. Really, it's kind of a weird. There's some like strips of metal that go in weird directions. There's some antennae, I guess, on it. It's kind of like a bit of a box shape to it. The propellers go up and kind of lift it in the air. He sort of sets the thing up to fly for a little bit. Okay. Well, got that part working. But this should do for shape. The panels there should catch it
What are you even trying
right
to do to begin with?
charged.
Can I make a Tinker's check?
You can I'm you can certainly try.
And I have a +8 Tinker's tools. I know how to build shit.
You do know how to build shit.
It's just a case of, is this something that you've seen before?
Yeah.
Is it 22?
So you're quite sure that this is not something that you are aware of its existence. All you can manage to gather is that it's supposed to. This is a model for a bigger. This is a model for a bigger prototype or actual thing, actual flying thing that's designed. You can tell that it's designed to go up in the air and just sort of stay there. With the antennae, you can sort of. I mean, you've seen radios and stuff, so you can sort of tell that it's supposed to either give, it's supposed to give and/or receive signals for something. I'm
Building some sort of radio-controlled ornithopter?
I'm working on a. Well, this is the model for. I'm working on making a satellite.
A set of what now?
Oh, right. Satellites. It's something that I'm gonna. I plan on launching it into space. It'll help me. Well, near space, so it'll stay in the orbit of the planet. It'll help me with a variety of things, like it'll get a better bird's eye view and some good looks at things. And there's a few other things that a few other features that I'm working on for it, but primarily the ability to scan out or scope out an area a little bit easier. Hopefully, I can get it to link up to my mech.
I
And then you sort of see.
don't understand how you're planning on getting that thing into space, but more power to you, I guess.
Well, like I said, near space. It's. I'm probably going to need some either insulation for it or cold resistant metal, though. It's space very cold. Either option is going to be fairly pricey, though. Well, unless I can run across some. Wouldn't that be something? Running across ice giant metal? Like an ice giant sword? Would be perfect for it.
Question is, where are we gonna fight an ice giant?
He just sort of shrugs. I don't know.
Munin kind of flutters down from wherever they decide to fuck off and lands on Lizzie's head. It's like Munin does the crow thing of like cocking the head to the side, looking at you with one big eye, and then tilting.
Hello. I wonder. I'm gonna add another thing onto it. And then do another thing real quick for him. That'll still do it. He adds another. Okay, that looks like some sort of what's that looks like a gun that doesn't have a hole in it. Like a gun that is just okay. So for a second of these, you know the like 50s, 60s like ray gun idea with the ball at the end of it.
Yeah.
And
Yes, it's that.
Why did you need a
There's
test?
a little one of those at the end of it. He presses a button and it fires off a little beam. No reason.
What in the...
I assume the crow is also freaking out.
Well, which way you pointing that thing? Damn. I took my fucking ears off.
Oh, it's
Just cause it's a
No.
magic fucking ray gun don't mean gun safety shouldn't be involved.
yeah, no kidding.
Was just firing up a like a laser pointer, like a ray. It's not that one wouldn't have actually hurt anything. You see, like he touches where it landed, where like the ray hit. It didn't actually do anything. I wouldn't actually use a laser, like a beam or anything. Okay. But I think I have the model down. Well, yeah. And as far as how I plan on getting it into space, we hold out a set of blueprints. Those gyroscopters, those propellers, those aren't going to be on there. Propellers don't spin nearly fast enough to actually reach escape velocity. For that, you need something with real thrust. and you see like, yeah, he shows you like the designs for like an actual satellite, and like getting it up there and everything. Am I dying?
Nope.
No?
Just waiting, because I'm not there.
Yeah, I was waiting for Rose to if she had any reaction to that.
Wait, sorry. I
Brain short circuit.
Yeah.
Rose machine broken. Try again later.
That's valid. That's valid. You gotta hit the refresh button.
Remember to refresh your goggles.
Yes. So yeah, he's just shown you a blueprint for an actual satellite, thrusters and all.
Can I take you to check the blueprint?
Absolutely.
That is an 18 plus 8. Fucking.
26.
Honestly.
Yes. When you look at this, it all makes sense. There are things that you never like thought of because they were never like present in your
And your culture.
I mean, Malava never really had the need for satellites, so it never really came to your mind. But you look at you check the math, you check the science, and it all, and the engineering, it all checks out.
I can't see much a need for why you'd want to do this, but damn, your math's working out.
Well, like I said, communications satellite, and it holds a variety of strategic value, laser notwithstanding. And yeah, when the real one goes into space, that one's going to be an actual laser cannon. I'll be sure to aim that not at my friend. Or myself, preferably, but...
Eating.
Yeah, being able to get a good bird's eye view of the planet. Not to mention, I mean, think about how isolated we've all been. Like, how much do we really know of each other nations' affairs? This will help to a degree. But, like I said, gotta get the right materials for it first. I just needed to make sure that I could make a model to ensure that this would work. It's one thing when the math works out, but it's a completely different thing when you're field testing. Theoretical versus practical and all that.
That's how it always goes. No plane survives first contact with the enemy.
Oh shit, you have planes too?
I'm more of the wing it like a motherfucker type.
Fair.
No pun intended. She points up to the unit.
Yeah. Alright. Do you have everything that you need then?
Yeah, I've gotten most everything I could think of.
Alright. Let's head back then. Oh, yeah. I have to do it on this side.
So. Back at the inn.
Yep.
Oh. Seems everyone's shopping trip has gone relatively well.
Hey guys, look at this cool thing. The model satellite goes up.
What?
And
Lieutenant? What the hell?
it's a model. It's a model. Oh yeah, you might also want to see this too. It's more science than magic, but it's still knowledge.
It's probably still knowledge, and even then, what exactly do you intend to use it for?
He presses a button, and the same little laser hits our friend here. Doesn't do anything. It just hits them. The meditating person.
What
happened?
It goes up. Again.
What in the world are you doing?
Congratulations, you were scanned.
That was what?
Effectively,
Some type of magic.
So
to a degree.
If my calculations are correct and my math is right and my tech works properly the way that it should, this satellite that I'm creating, which
Satellite.
that's definitely a word that none of you have heard of before. Actually, no,
Kusanali.
you probably have heard the term satellite, but yeah, you've probably heard the term satellite, but not referring to artificial satellites, but rather natural satellites like moons.
That and also
You've probably heard the moon or the rings be referred to as satellites.
And in terms
a technological. No, Sam would know that, not necessarily you.
well, it's also a case of Kusanali technology. A satellite would be classified under war technology, which she doesn't necessarily have the access to. So it's like, why the hell do you have a satellite?
What is a satellite? What kind of weird magic are you doing?
Well, again, well, let's get into that. So if all goes according to plan, it should be able to, with enough prep and recharging, there should be 3 functions to it. You know the sending spell, yes, or know of it?
I have it in my office spellbook, but not currently on me.
Nani, the fuck did you do, Cal?
I feel like the Cal discussion could be for a different time, unless it's a pressing emergency.
I am so sorry about ruining the recording there. It's just, I just read something that genuinely made me panic.
No, I completely understand. If it's a pressing emergency, go handle it.
I think they're okay now, but it was just the moment I read it. Sorry. I could not be quiet about that.
The thing in Dankest?
No, IRL.
Cal
What
sent
do you mean IRL?
They said something to you IRL?
Cal sent Skella something, and when he read it, he reacted. Like I said, if it's a pressing emergency, go handle it. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're fine now, for what I understand, but
Just
If you want to go scold them, go do it.
yeah, just make sure that we're not a part of it.
Exactly. That's why I said I could do this through GIF. Also, ladies and gentlemen that is watching this, I greatly apologize for that freak out. It's just I read something and it genuinely made me panic. So, they're okay, but it's just like, ow.
Yep. Yep. Anyway, shifting back to our topic of discussion of this.
So, but anyway, so this should sort of have three functions. This should have the ability to at least stimulate or emulate the sending spell, a limited amount of times, but it gives a decent recharge. It also should be able to function similarly to. It also should be able to do something that functions similarly to locate creature, and it also should be able to function or be able to. It'll have an onboard laser.
I assume this will be in matters of self-defense rather than a full-on assault.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm not exactly of your nation, but I do have to make a note of it. Yeah, and Luke, you can just kind of tell that Beatrice has this look of she's partly impressed, but at the same time she's also
Partly
annoyed that she has to do the paperwork. So it's just really.
And for those wondering, yes, the satellite is a mech pilot class feature.
Good
it's
to
not
know.
something that he's going to have access to until like level 9, but you know,
assuming that things don't go catastrophically wrong and we actually get to level 9.
Well, I mean, you are level 6 right now, so
I'm just saying things could go catastrophically wrong.
There's the possibility.
I do plan on this campaign taking the party to 20. It is a milestone, though.
I understand that. I'm still saying that something could go sideways.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying this is intended for up to level 20, and it's intended with the mindset of how do I put it?
Major events, we get a level.
Yeah, and that's not, and it's major events that you complete within the on the map, right? Because on the map there are certain major events that I've placed, basically quests, effective or missions, I suppose. But do not let that distract you from exploring. Remember, this game does kind of play out like a little like a video game. You can, and it is a hex crawl. I want you to explore. You just also happen to have a main story while exploring.
So, back to the in character conversation. How does Luke respond to me? Both, I am impressed, but I'm also annoyed. Look.
Just shit it, right?
God damn it.
Rubs her head and goes back to sipping her tea.
For those of you that don't know what a satellite is, it's something that goes into space.
Or at least it doesn't have to go into space.
I mean, the best ones usually do, because there's no atmosphere up in space for it to actually be dragged down by. A lot less maintenance has to happen if it's in space.
Fair point. Just putting in the stipulation.
Just low orbit.
Oh, and before I forget, Lizzie, you'll see kind of be just fumble around in her coat for a moment before producing a box of 100 rounds of 762 ammunition.
Ammunition.
I believe this is yours.
Wow, so I wasn't expecting me to find it.
Oh,
well,
my dear Goblin associate, you can find anything if you ask the right questions.
I was to say, it might not be the exact 762, but
it's close enough.
It has a different name, but it functions pretty much identical.
That as someone who knows guns, that's not how that works at all. There's only a limited number of rounds that have specifications like that, where you only really have like it's like 7.62 NATO, 38 Winchester are effectively the same round, but they only have differences in powder levels, and you have 223 and 5.56 NATO. Effectively the same round. The only difference.
Well, guess what this is. Guess what this world is. Guess what this world is. It's a fantasy world. So
the point is, you have the ammunition you need, or at least a version that your gun will be able to use.
And yeah. The reason why I say it goes under a different name here is specifically because you're from a different nation than the one you're currently in. And all of the nations in this campaign have been isolated for at least a handful of centuries.
Well, and even then, I wouldn't necessarily call it full isolation, because there is some information back and forth. It just depends on where you go.
Yeah. It's... When I say...
Oh, it's sneezing like a demon.
Oh yeah, there he goes. He's dying again.
Oh dear.
Anyway, there are different names for the things. It's when I say it's the exact same bullet, I mean that it's literally the exact same bullet. They are. If you put the bullets up to the same thing, up to each other, they are the same exact bullet. They just go under different names.
Probably different.
Maybe the
composition, but effectively the same.
Yeah.
And if you guys will look outside, Garrig's dinosaur is outfitted with the camping supplies.
Oh, she's not happy about it.
Yeah.
Also.
Oh, thank you. She'll take the box and open it and do a cursory check of the rounds.
Also, we got chili. A lot of it.
I don't know why you're complaining.
The chili.
Good.
Oh. Well...
Did I sound like I was complaining?
if I may ask, is chili actually somewhat similar to curry?
What's chili?
What's curry?
And what's curry?
So, Beatrice will kind of give the...
They're somewhat complex.
To explain, we're going more of the Indian style curry as opposed to something like Japanese or Korean style.
I've had neither.
Curry is very good.
Yes, there is typically a stewed meat, some sort of vegetable in a spicy-ish sauce, typically served with rice.
Yeah, it's like they're kind of similar, but they're like siblings. They come from they have the same composition, but one went to art school and the other became a professional. Became a professional lancer.
And also, both of them can be exceedingly spicy, depending on who actually makes it. Just wondering, since a taste of home would actually be somewhat beneficial on the road. Oh, and before we leave, we should at least try to send some scouts out to Bismarck, so that way our little plan goes off without a hitch, or at least as few hitches as possible.
As few chinks in the armor.
More like less collateral damage, the better.
Well, you don't want to just go running in, casting fireballs all willy-nilly?
I'd rather not. It's effective, but I don't want to cause an international incident as well.
Right. That's your concern.
I mean,
I'd be more concerned with just people's housing being destroyed.
Again, that also layers into international incident.
He sort of gets a few flashbacks to the last dragon invasion that he had to deal with.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's just sort of like, still.
Yeah, no.
The simple fact that people deserve a place to live, and regardless of whether or not it's an international incident.
I'm just saying, international coalition causing massive loss of housing and life is not a good look.
Also, Sam.
Sorry.
Fuck, bitch, sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
You just hear with an extremely heavy accent, the F word, C word, the B word, and you just hear a really faded thud as Deladrona just squats all the way. She's like, I'm done, basically. Is what you hear.
In what language?
In Primordial.
That being said, we should probably walk and talk at the same time. Considering our,
She's not moving.
Well, unfortunately, we'll have to get her out of the city.
It's what's his maximum for this? Not perfect. Well, I guess we'll put that to 0 for right now.
But to ask the question, do we have to talk to the governor to get scouts, or is there like a guard captain
Later.
we can talk to, or Because, yeah, if we can get the scouts sent out ahead of us, that'll actually be a really good sign. And yes, we're also warning them about the giant plant thing.
Lucas dons his mech armor. And he just sort of picks the packs of himself. Come on. Alright. There we go.
She just gave you a low growl. Like, why'd you do... She's basically like saying, why did you do this to me in the first place? Is the kind of growl I get from her. Like, in general, like, why did I get this put on me in general is the vibe she's giving.
Also, hang on, what is the strength and constitution score of that creature? Because
strength should be fine. Constitution,
her strength is 16, constitution is 16.
And 16.
And her charm is 12.
Yeah, charm doesn't matter here. What matters more is the constitution here, because
her constitution is 16.
Yeah,
she's just being
she's trying to
fussy.
do like a...
Is what it is. She's just being fussy.
But, Garuk, you'll actually hear in Primordial as Beatrice is looking right at her. We simply needed to get the supplies from point A to point B. Thank you for your service. Before turning and going back to the alright. Scouting.
Yeah, go let Valrin know. I'm kind of, here for right now.
I figure. Valrin's office is...
Actually, wait.
Where?
Actually, hang on. Siva, you go tell him. You know where it's at.
Handy.
Beeps and whistles.
And just off he goes.
Alright.
And then once the report is set, we can find a caravan or some other way to team up with for the time being, and we can go handle that giant plant.
Yep.
Simply because the giant plant is directly in our path to Bismarck.
Hey, Lizzie, you want to ride on the mech again?
Rose, that was to you. Oh no.
Rose?
Huh?
Oh my god.
That was to you! That was a softball!
Do you need some more sleep, bud?
Maybe.
You are really out of it today.
Oh dear.
Aside from everything that just happened,
Like,
aside from
it's like the last thing I remember was Davajo sort of putting
being a
socks
little
on
bitch.
a dog.
She's being pissy, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like when you put socks on a dog.
Yes. Being really fussy. We'll have the trainer in to be able to carry things like that or be saddled on like that. As you can probably have some sort of rudimentary saddle, but you'll have to train her to have actual
Things.
saddlebags and like maybe even being able to carry or to push a cart. But
The cart she'll be really pissy with. It's the bag she's
You
pissed.
need to-
She carried not only Garuk all the way there, but also his supplies. So piling even more on just made her pissy. Otherwise, She's used to it.
Yeah, it's just gonna have to be an animal handling thing to get that. Anyway, Lizzie, you were asked if you want to ride on the mech.
Again.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. You are plopped upon upon one of the shoulders.
You know, I honestly didn't think an Octavian military man and a Malavan, dignitary would actually be getting along so well.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a dignitary.
You're the closest thing they have at the moment.
What can I say? We're both tinkers.
I suppose even common ground can be made among opposing viewpoints, to put it lightly.
No, I think opposing viewpoints is a good way of putting it.
Right, but as I was
Anyway.
trying to say before, once Siba returns, we can set out and hopefully we make it alive.
Speaking of which, he returns with a little bit of a strange compass.
Siba? What did you find?
Huh. He beeps and he whistles at Lucas. Oh. Just gonna tuck that away for later.
Tuck what away, specifically?
Just a nugget of information.
You're just making it worse. Is that nugget information particular to our mission, or is that specifically for you? Answer
useful for all of
honestly
us.
if
It's
you
just-
could.
It'll be useful for all of us. It's just I sent Siba on a or I sent Siba to let's just say go for a particular request.
Aside from sending out the scouts?
Aside from that, yes.
Alright, then. Can I insight?
Well,
Just
go for
just
it.
to see. 15 insight.
I guess a little deceptive. It's not like he's okay.
It's a case of he's not lying about it, or at least he's not intentionally lying about it. It's just
There's a bit of vagary. It's
yeah, it's a little too vague for Beatrice's
unfortunately-
liking.
unfortunately that's a nat 20. So
Damn it!
Rip.
all you're able to pick up is that he's being vague. Not malice, not maliciously vague, but like
Yeah, he's just being vague, and
unfortunately there's no face for you to see.
oh, yeah,
In the
considering mech.
So you can't really see any. Yeah, you can't really see any expressions.
Uh-huh. Well,
Like I said, it'll be useful for all of us. It's just I call first dibs on it.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
If it helps, it is a magic compass.
locating. Oh, oh. With the detail that it's a magic compass, he just does the ah. I see. Understandable. Have a nice day. And she just kind of turns and. Well, we should at least attempt to find a caravan or something before it gets too late. After all, the last thing I want to do is be trudging out into the undead horde completely unprotected.
I mean, you got us, and I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know how many caravans are going to be out, but
it's still worth trying to find one. And if anything, they might be able to give us a little bit more intel as to what we're getting into.
You know, when I looked up when I looked up this, because I'm looking for a background. When I looked up the thing that I looked up, and the background, the images that are popping up, they're not the ones. They're not the images that I was hoping for per se.
Please tell me you're not going to get taken off of YouTube for it.
I don't think I will.
YouTube increase.
It's just I was looking for images for a background. I was looking for burnt forest images, and it's a bunch of just forest fire background images. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a forest on fire. I'm looking for a forest that has already been on fire.
Try typing in ashed forest or ash forest.
Ashed might give you a better response, considering ash is also a type of tree. So.
Hello?
Ash.
Hello?
You didn't order food, did you, Rose?
Sounds like she's on the phone.
Oh, that's a cool image. Not what I'm looking for, but it will,
Save it. It could be useful later.
It's something I want to send to the Zoogle because I think he'll appreciate it. All I'm going to say, May, is, all I'm going to say is it'll send. Just taking its sweet ass time sending on it. There you go. Bonfire lit.
Is it what I think it is?
Yeah, no. Again, we'll send it to you too. If I can find you. There you are.
Not exactly that hard to find.
Sometimes you are.
Sometimes you're buried under my other conversations. Because apparently I'm a very popular guy.
I'm not surprised. It's not what I was thinking of,
bonfire
but
lit.
still cool. Again,
Yeah, I really
save
like
it.
that image.
Save it. It could
Oh,
be
yeah,
useful
absolutely.
later.
Bing it, bong it. That's not. I mean, I have a different. I do have an image now, but this is an image that I wasn't expecting to. Excuse you. Fuck you. Don't say this that. Gotta love it when someone saves as a .html. Tries to save as a fucking web.p.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah. So this is not the image that I'm using, but this is an image that I found, and
Oh boy. Oh no. Well, actually,
yeah,
no. I shouldn't say that. I should. Honestly, that's a really cool image.
Good image. It's a really good image. It's just like, not what I need.
Again, save it. Could be useful later.
Useful for dream sequences.
Dream sequences, the spooky swamp forest, some sort of eldritch horror in the woods.
Multiple other horrors in the woods.
Exactly.
There we go. Yes, that's not one more than you, but perfect. And now I must embiggen. Oh, busy boy. Boop. Who the hell was Boop? I heard it too. Whoa.
Wasn't me. I've got note of
That
silence.
is also a very good opening. God damn.
I hope that your side of the audience is getting this.
So now I get to. Is everyone here? Is everyone ready? I am currently ready. I have things set up proper.
Rose?
That's why I asked.
I'm taking silence as a no.
Alright, everyone take a 5-minute piss break. Yeah.
Snack.
I didn't go pee anyway, so.
Yeah, snack, water. Do 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 do. I'd play music on my end, but I don't want to get copyright struck.
But I music.
am disgruntled.
Welcome back.
And
I assume it was a matter of food.
yeah, it was a matter of food, but also my food was wrong and I'm mad about it. It's like I feel like this happens every time I've gotten Pizza Hut and it ends up going through DoorDash instead of at the delivery driver. The delivery drivers never check for when you order drinks. They just put it out the fucking door.
I mean, well, it's kind of on the restaurant to make sure that the drink is with the order as well.
Yeah, it's also on the restaurant that my order was wrong. I ordered a melt and a stuffed crust pizza, and the melt was chicken bacon ranch with onions instead of the buffalo chicken with no onions that I ordered.
Well, I'm sorry.
I am disgruntled. At least the pizza was right. Stuffed crust ham and pepperoni covered in hot sauce and red pepper flakes. This good shit. What did I miss?
We are actually getting ready to head on out to our hex, and we were waiting on you, and now Noah might have gotten yoinked from the 5-minute piss break.
Noah got stolen.
Any updates?
And she's back,
No.
and he's back. Let's do this.
All right. So, let's move you over here real quick. So, we're on the map here. We're starting in Yggdrasil. And we're moving our way over to... I should get a token for this. Actually, let me open up the map on the other side then real quick. And then just grab a fucking token. That'll work as a marker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do this. Maybe a little bit smaller.
I returned.
Oh, you were gone too?
I went to the bathroom.
Fair enough. So let's move That's where we're at now. Now we're gonna move it all over to here.
Oh, cause people.
Gotta get you moving.
We're moving to. We are now in Zib Forest. And a burnt forest it is indeed.
Well, it's a good thing I've already got a mask.
Blackened trees dot the lens.
Excuse me.
The embers of forest fires still glow. Smoke still in the sky.
Upon entering the territory, I will set up mage armor just in case.
Upon leaving to your north, the smell is faint at first, but when you enter these woods, you can smell the smoke, smell fire, the heat. Despite the fires, despite the area you're in not currently being completely on fire, there are still the embers remain. There are still portions of this forest that still yet burn. Along with the smell of burning foliage and burning greens and the grass, you do smell the telltale burning flesh. Burning and rotted flesh.
Reminds me of home.
Does she say it out loud?
Yeah, I was going to say, after hearing that, it's just like, are you okay?
Why wouldn't I be?
That's a genuine question. Does she say that out loud?
Yes, I said that in territory and out loud.
Bombastic side-eye. And here we have Skellis pretending to be the dying undead in the corner.
Be nice.
The smell of burning flesh is, it reminds you of home.
There's all the different smells that are, yes. What?
I mean,
is that not normal for you guys?
No.
I mean, the smell of the smell of burning flesh is something that I'm not particularly new to, but it's not something that I would call nostalgic. Usually, the smell of burning flesh means people that I care about are dead because some asshole dragon decided to burn them alive.
Hey, dragons aren't assholes.
Tell that to the ones that invading my home.
Your dice probably dissolved it.
Any more than you deserve what's happening to your home?
Can we focus on our main objective, please?
That is what it is.
We can worry about contingent. We can worry about this conversation at a later time. I just really hope that there weren't innocent people caught in this.
I mean, this can't be good for really anyone.
It isn't.
A fire like this is like to disturb the wildlife, disturb not just the animals, but the plants. It's an ecological disaster
Right.
in all respects.
Can I do a perception check just to take a look around?
What are you looking to find?
Whether it be people, the monster, burned village.
have taken your first steps in.
Okay. Can I at
I
least...
use pet and make like a small flame appear out of my finger chip.
Use what?
You did use the fire.
What did you use? I'm sorry.
Press.
I said I used prestidigitation to make a small illusionary fire appear on my
Press is what I thought you said. Press is what I thought you said, but I wanted to make sure that it was press and not produce flame. I mean, either one works. Just I wanted to be sure I heard properly.
You did use the fire. I have been.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. I know we said we were going to send out scouts, but
If
we
anything...
want the people to evacuate. But there are still people setting fire to this forest.
Beatrice has actually told
Or
them,
at the very least,
like,
there are
this is not an area that is safe to go in. So it's like, avoid this area if you can.
Or there are still people. I
could send in.
Are they still setting fire to this forest, or right? What I'm getting at is, I don't feel exactly comfortable just walking through and not doing anything about it.
I don't either. How far can your familiar? I assume it's a familiar. How far can it go before it disappears?
I've got 150 feet of where I can actively control it, and then once he gets past that, I can just see through his eyes.
Well, it's certainly a way forward, and if anything, it can allow us to scout for the monster. And with that in mind, we could see if it actually adapted to its environment. If it has adapted, we will need to try a new strategy. Since I don't think fire is already going to work on a burning plant.
Lizzie is going to, like, raise her arm up so that Munin lands on it. And then she's going...
on your head.
She'll sigh, and then pick him up off of her head, hold Munin gentle like hamburger, and then touch the bird's forehead to her own and look through her familiar's eyes.
Alright.
And then she'll send Munin up to do the yeah.
Recon.
All right.
Enemy recon drone in the air.
So, from what it looks like, there are 3 primary spots where there are fires going. And go ahead and roll a perception check, albeit 1 at disadvantage. Thank you for waiting. Your Pokemon are fully healed.
I rolled a natural 20 and a 17. So a dirty 20.
You notice that at least one of them has a person who is actively setting the fire.
Well, Garuk's gonna kill him when he hears that and finds out.
Well, keep in mind, this is how many feet away?
Lizzie is going to
I said if and when.
land on a tree branch near him, and using Munen's mimicry, picking up pieces of different things said around the city around him, going to ask, why do you burn the forest?
How long are you willing to do that? Or how long are you willing to spend in your familiar's body, I guess, or with the thing there? Because
long enough until the dude fucking notices.
Well, I asked because when you saw them, that was the closest fire to you, but it was like a speck. You could kind of just sort of.
Oh, okay. So it's not like there's somebody 150 feet away.
Vision you can see there.
Okay. I misunderstood then.
Yeah, you're good. I was gonna say, I probably could have described that a little more thoroughly, but yeah.
She'll fly. Which direction is it?
Get a hint.
Like in which direction and about how far?
It is directly. It's more so to your northwest. Was the closest.
She'll and about how far?
Probably like mile to mile and a half. So ways off.
She'll fly Munin back to she'll fly Munin back to the gang and say, well, there's somebody still actively setting a fire about a mile and a half north of here. At least as the raven flies.
You did just say one person, correct?
I mean, I can just tell there's somebody actively setting a fire. Don't know how many nor if it's just one person.
That's what concerns me. If it's one person, we can reasonably handle it. However, how close they are to companions might be concerning. And there is still also the giant plant monster we've heard about.
Yeah. Regardless, there's at least one person that's actively setting fires, and since I know where they're at, I know where I have to go. They don't necessarily have to die, Garuk. But
they will be punished, yes.
can always set them on fire instead.
Hibara!
That would be a suitable punishment.
What
Yes.
those comes around, right?
Yes, but it's not effective for
If they-
getting information.
If they fight back, we can use that as a.
We don't exactly.
Details.
We don't exactly know why they're doing this. To be fair,
That's
Exactly. So we ask questions first and then burn if we need to.
Ask questions, then burn. Got it.
Fine, we do it your way.
Alright.
listen, boy, ain't you got any sense in your head in there? The main thing is we don't know why they're doing it. They could be fighting.
You get your answers. I do what I should do.
And if you try and kill somebody innocent, I'll put you down like a dog in the street.
Both of you.
Well then, little one.
both of you. Okay, so both of you are picked up by the giant robot. Enough.
You said,
We're here to work together.
Miss Sims, you said a mile, correct?
About a mile and a half roundabouts.
Well,
I love it. She's just talking well held up like a fucking cat. Because they're both held up by like the scruff of their fucking like shirts or whatever.
He's still glaring.
I'm a weapon, not a diplomat.
that is very, very clear.
Disconcerting.
We'll deal with that when we get to it.
Point is, we have a lead. Let's go ask our questions.
What's the? I put the other people back where they quote unquote belong. All right, let's go have an interrogation. Let's go have a little chat. I think there'll be a little.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it an interrogation. I don't have the spell that could make them be truthful
Like I
about
said,
what they're doing.
We'll have a little chat. I mean, B, come on. And he just sort of brandishes the spear. Come on.
I'm saying
It's
that we
been
should probably have
useful in
Karuk.
terms of getting information.
Well, if I may, we could also use Garuk as more of the bad cop. If they don't give us information, they get their head bashed in.
Yeah.
That could be an option for them.
Exactly. I'm not above physical violence if it'll actually get the job done.
Right.
It's just going in first is not
So,
necessarily a
there
good
is
idea.
there is a certain and there is a certain level of there is such a thing as going too far. Now, if you wanted to take a lighter and burn their eyebrows off and burn their hair off,
That'll be the final option. That'll be the final option if they still refuse after Garuk gives them a good beating.
the mech begins walking north.
I'm trying to keep... Yeah, Beatrice is trying to keep up with the mech. Because, as far as I know, I'm not... How many people can your mech, carry?
I mean, at least two.
It
Not
would...
including myself, considering I'm in it.
It would be nice to have a lift so I wouldn't fall behind.
Alright, let's, are we doing this like, Like backpack style, riding on the shoulder, riding on the head, or we're doing a baby on board style.
Well, it's more of a standing on the shoulder, using like the ear or like some other piece of metal just to make sure that she keeps her balance.
God damn it, May.
Yeah.
It's the cruise chaser mount.
Yeah.
You act like it's a bad
Just
thing.
one on either shoulder.
Yeah.
Skell, what's your character's name again?
Which one? Are you asking for Garuk or for Devil Joanna?
I said character, not mount.
Character, not that.
It's Garuk.
Garuk.
Lizzie will look down at him on his mount. So, Garuk, what exactly got you so damn pissy about this?
It's not obvious.
See, back home...
He just gives her a snort as he follows the mech. He is not in a good mood
Back
whatsoever.
home, the forests get so overgrown that they need to be tended. It's called controlled
Tended
burns.
how?
It's called controlled burns. Our firefighters go out and set specific swaths of the forest on fire.
He just spits on the ground and then tries to get ahead of the mech, blatantly ignoring her at that point.
If I may, Miss Sims.
As you try to... Oh, go ahead.
The Forgotten Wilds are very much different.
How do you call them?
She's gonna send Munin over to peck him in the back of the head.
Can you not provoke him?
No, she has a point that she wants.
In the back.
She has a point that she
packed
wants
in
to
the back
be
of the head.
made. He's actively fucking ignoring it.
What do I roll to grab the bird?
You hurt that bird, she'll kill you. She will.
You hurt that bird, and you're gonna get a spear in the chest.
I mean, you set the board up to get in trouble, so...
Yeah, ignoring the fact that, hon, you started
Hitting
this.
people in the back of the head, you instigate a fight.
Yeah, you started this.
That's what I said. Grab the bird, not hit the bird.
However, also Devil Joanna gets an arm thrust in front of her. Someone's talking to you. Yeah, the mech
to those who know primology,
the mech looks back to the lizard person, and
Joanna screams in primordial. What the fuck? In primordial is what Devil Joanna screams.
Devil Joanna is a beast and does not have the intelligence to speak. Actually, technically, it's classified as a monstrosity, but still.
Well, that just felt downright insulting.
It's not an intelligent creature. It's an animal.
Dinosaur.
Oh boy.
Anyway, sorry for that one,
If you want
folks.
me to leave, then just tell me to leave.
Bro. I don't know where that came in from.
I just wanted to have a character moment, damn it.
Yeah, so real quick, real talk discussion. I don't know what's biting you in the ass there, but so with the Devil Joe thing, Devil Joanna might be a smarter beast, but she's still an animal. She's she's still a dinosaur. That's the thing. These creatures, especially the creatures that I believe. Let me open up your character sheet real quick to see what your class is. I think. Fine, that's fine. Anyway, if I recall correctly, your class's name is Beast Tamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, your entire shtick. She's smart enough to know how to wear armor and to know how to wield weapons and the likes. But she's not necessarily sapient. She can't hold a conversation.
She's like a particularly intelligent German shepherd.
Yeah. I'm not trying to take the wind out of your sails with that, with this thing, but and I know what you're going for with the concept, but beast taming doesn't necessarily involve capturing sapient creatures and putting them in under your command.
Familiar, they're able to communicate, then how do they do it?
A familiar is a
Familiars are beings of pure magic that have varying levels.
Or celestial.
Mutant.
Familiars are not actually physical corporeal creatures. If a familiar dies, it puffs into like a.
It just puffs out.
Depending on what it is. It stops existing because the spirit that was taking the shape of the animal has now gone back to its plane of existence, its home plane.
Like Munin ain't technically real bird. It's just the bird is the shape that Munin takes. I could turn around and make Munin anything else. All it would take is a long rest.
Well,
I mean,
almost anything else, but yeah. Point is,
hell, even with Siva, my drone, it says that it understands certain languages, but it doesn't. It understands all the languages that Luke knows how to speak, but it doesn't specifically mention that it can speak. Therefore, Siva. That's why Siva communicates with beeps and whistles. It doesn't have the ability to communicate.
Or at least it doesn't have the capability of speech.
Devil Dawn has an intelligence of 4, which is honestly a blessing for you, because it effectively makes her auto-immune to most
mental spells, yeah.
Yeah, most mental spells that would affect specifically beasts. That being said, she's not.
Devil Joanna is like Appa.
Yeah.
Like, smart is still a fucking sky bison.
Pretty sure that one episode that was just them hallucinating, but them talking was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was them fucking hallucinating because they on frogs.
Skelos, do you understand what we're trying to say though?
She can't talk.
Yeah, again, this isn't me trying to slight you or anything. I want it to be very clear that you have animals, beasts in your command, not necessarily sapient creature.
Because if Devil Joanna was sapient, the situation that you two live would be just a little bit fucked up.
Then she might have tried to eat somebody along the way, but that's a discussion for a different time.
Not to mention, I mean, knowing what Double Joe are and what she's a pygmy of.
Yep.
There are. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the moment, because it actually is kind of a pertinent moment.
I thought allowed them to talk to each other.
You can communicate with your beasts. Your beasts can't necessarily speak or communicate. They can communicate. Like you know how to, like, with your beasts, if they want something, you know what they'll want.
Basically, they can talk in your head and not out in person.
Okay.
They can at least communicate the ideas of what they want or don't want or are afraid of, etc.
Again, it's like a particularly intelligent German Shepherd.
Okay, then when the robotic arm slams in front of her, she's roaring at the top of her lungs out of fear.
Yeah. And the mech looks back to you. Someone was talking to you. You don't just walk away from the conversation with that.
That being said, that may have alerted something.
Honestly, if anything's alerted and wants to fight us, let him come.
Yeah.
I think we all have a little bit of aggression that we're willing to work out here.
But as I was saying,
Your statement of that day, I believe I said that right.
As I was saying, Gurk, sometimes a forest needs to burn to stay healthy.
Not by hand.
Exactly, by hand.
Nature takes care of her own.
Nature is a cruel bitch that will let others die so that the one can propagate.
Then your greed with metal is your own fault.
I ain't talking about minds. Sit down and listen to what I'm saying. Back home, the forests can get so overgrown underneath that the ferns and the briars and the prickers choke out the trees. So some swaths of the forest need to burn so that all the shitty little briars die so that the trees can live.
And you were the judge for this?
Not me.
And yet you're defending that.
I am.
There's the problem.
I'm defending it because it's preventative maintenance.
Which is sometimes required for life to flourish.
Because if you have an entire swath of forest that's been choked out by kudzu and briars, that's no longer alive. That's dead. That is a dead forest that nothing can live in because nothing can eat kudzu and briars.
To kind of help...
Then Luke pipes up real quick. Does the father who punishes the rebellious child hate that child? And that is directed to Garuk. Sometimes, in order to heal, sometimes it's going to hurt before it heals.
Garuk is really beginning to question why he agreed to be with this group if he's going to keep hearing this crap. He's saying anything.
Question all you like.
It's not exactly an incorrect statement on both sides. However, to kind of help bridge the gap here, how... I'm trying to put this into, like, terms that Garuk would actually understand.
Because at least a good third of everything that was said still went over his head because he has no idea what those words were.
Yeah, so... Okay. I'm just going to kind of describe it, because even I don't know how to fully articulate it. But... Garuk, are you... Is there a creature that you know of that you just kill on sight, regardless? Like, some sort of bug.
Yes, there is.
Shush you.
I'm saying you would recall them greatly, considering you have the only version that is allowed to exist.
I'm aware, but he was going to use a different example than that.
It just...
Go ahead.
Oh, alright. So, in the ecosystem, what would you do if that bug or creature, I suppose would be the better term, what would nature do if it got out of control?
From what my grandfather told me before he was taken, there are times where the small are eaten by the big, and the big are eaten by the giant, when the giant are hungry.
Yes, and... well...
And when the giants are no longer hungry, they lay in sleep.
However, I think there's one detail that your grandfather may have missed. Sometimes there are too many of the small, and they will eat the bigger, and then eventually the giant.
Look at it this way.
Miss Sims, if I can, please, if you'll give me some time to try and explain.
I figure I've got a pretty good explanation of.
Yeah, but you had your you already said your piece. Let her finish what she's saying.
Do you understand how?
As you're walking.
Yeah. So, in order to prevent the small from eventually eating the giant, you need to cut down or remove some of the small. Do you understand? Like, she's not trying to be malicious in any way. She's just trying to explain things.
Sometimes you gotta cull the coyotes so they don't eat your drake calves.
I'm not sure Garuk knows what those are.
You would know them by a different name, different term. But I was going to say, is you just see him, from your perspective, it's almost as if he does headbutt Delajona, but you don't see her react to it whatsoever until he starts basically scratching the back of her jaw, and then it's just like that slow cat blink as she just starts swiping her tail.
Garuk, do you understand?
He gets down. Wait, where is Beatrice at? Are they still on the other
shoulder?
Yeah,
she's on the other shoulder. You've probably moved over to the other shoulder so that you can have a proper conversation with
her. Or at least, she's actually gotten onto one of the hands, so that way she can kind of be kind of next to him, so that way it's a.
That he's not trying to tower over you to intimidate you. No, he's just trying to be next to you. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's kind of what they're doing.
Joanna's the last of her kind, as far as I've been seeing. I was one of the rare few, from what my tribe has told me, that I was able to soul bond with the World Eater.
What kind of check is that? Because that feels like
history with advantage.
All right. Yeah. 22.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that are called the World Eater. For example, there's a big ass snake that we've heard of. There's one that might be from the sea that is it's a really weird legend where it's simultaneously out of the ocean but also big enough to consume the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's really dumb and weird. You've also heard tale of creatures that eat entire ecosystems.
And this is one of those?
Yeah.
You can basically infer, yeah.
Alright. Well, with that little tidbit in mind, I understand why you are so protective of the world around you, and it is a very admirable trait. So, with this excursion and what we're about to do, I think the best way for you to interpret, and keep in mind I could be very wrong, is that we are preventing something like the World Eater from happening again.
You don't need to worry of that. My tribe went on and I believe I'll be saying this word correctly. Annihilation run of all of her kind. Long ago.
In the side.
Well, for kind, like just completely, or just that they know of.
Is that a
any possibility that there's that is
I was going to say, is that a Luke question or is that a
that is Luke asking? And he's not like he's asking genuinely.
I heard stories that if the World Eater were to swim, they would gun it, I believe again, gun it down is the term. And tales of my tribe spreading all out, going on purges.
I believe Kusanali had a similar event happen.
Can I do a history check and see if I recognize anything like a quote-unquote world eater?
Absolutely. World-ending monsters is not exactly
a new concept.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a new concept, and it's something that like every zone will probably have something similar to.
Yeah.
I rolled a 15.
Now, this is all speculation. You have no means of confirming whether this is true or not. But you've heard tell that some of those weird tentacle bastards come from, well, you hear that, I mean, a lot of them have come from the caves and stuff, but you hear that their origin point, that they're not originally from that point, that they're from somewhere, and that the craft that they were on, whether that be a flying craft or wind sailing craft that they were on, it crashed, and that should it be set to launch, at least in the wrong way, because it's deep in the ground. Should it be set to launch, at least in the wrong way, it could. It's not necessarily a world eater, but the craft itself could be a world breaker.
Mm. Hmm.
And how prevalent is that in our histories?
I think
For you, it's mostly just.
Yeah, I think the craft story is more particular to your region than.
Yeah, it's mostly just a myth to your home. You don't have any way of actually confirming this outside of some nut job saying, "Some of the craft, I saw it down there."
I'd also like to apologize for earlier. I don't know if it was my brain not reading it right or not. It just made it feel a little personal, and that's why I got so defensive, and I apologize.
It's fine. It happens.
You're fine. You're fine. I don't think any of that there was intended to be personal at all. It was just the characters there were
really heated.
Yeah, and
heated and trying to get their points across.
Yep, and as somebody who is also kind of watching this and trying to mediate, our party is still in that stage of we're trying to figure out how we work and how we jive.
It's honestly,
so it's supposed to happen like that.
In character anyway. Yeah, it's honestly all in character and all. What's the word?
It's all supposed to happen like that.
This feels like this would actually happen.
Yeah.
So we'll just say, look, Karuk, I know that nature will heal itself as well, but sometimes we as people like to help with that process. Sometimes we see a thing that is a threat, not even necessarily to people, but to the world itself, and we try to take care of that threat. Sometimes there are parasites that need to be rooted out. Not necessarily that parasite needs to be completely and utterly eradicated, but sometimes the parasite needs to be removed.
Yes. We weren't trying to offend you. We're just hoping that you understand.
He just goes back over to Juana, and now he's just gonna, again, he's on that. He's got his forehead and head up against her.
Yep. At this point, Beatrice will kind of look back to Luke and Miss Sims and just be like, I think we should let him be for a bit.
Yeah.
Even in my own tribe, as you said, Luke, they viewed her as a parasite. As he's just scratching under her chin. I almost lost a horn defending her.
Well, that's just not right. Yeah.
When I say they purged
she might be hungry. She might have a...
I meant all. I got lucky, is it. As he goes back to give her affection.
Mm. To add a little bit of character insight, because Garuk doesn't necessarily know this, and he's probably going to figure this out later, but Kusanori's relationship with the Forgotten Wilds is controversial, to put it lightly. The border towns have been encroaching on that territory for, as far as Beatrice knows, decades. And that's the reason that research requests actually happened, is because Kusanali was exploiting the Forgotten Wilds for a period of time. Noah? Yeah, the raids against on the border don't necessarily help either. Noah, do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
But anyway, as we are walking, are we getting any closer? Is there like an increase in heat, smoke?
There is an increase in heat and an increase in smoke. And upon the horizon, you do hear screaming.
I assume it's just... Oh. I assume that this is just general men, women, children. We need to get away. We are terrified. We're screwed.
It's one person screaming.
Oh.
One person screaming and the sound of fire.
That's...
And the sound of arcane magic.
Oh. Well, with that in mind, I will kind of take over our outro. Thank you guys for tuning in on YouTube and Twitch. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe over on Novomancer's channel. Please make sure to follow and ring that notification bell on my Twitch channel. Thank you for the rest of the crew. Is there anything?
And thank you all for the thank you for the patience that you portrayed with the situation that we had.
Yeah, it's just one of those deals. I don't really want to call it a fight, but situations like that will happen in the future. If we need to put some sort of a warning, we can.
Yeah. Players don't always agree, characters don't always agree, things tend to happen.
Yeah.
Flames will rise. But
nice. So, with that note,
With all that being said, thank you all, and